You know all too well, former Mississippi State and Seahawks legend KJ Wright joins us. We were going to talk about NFL free agency, but you guys were reminiscing on your state day. So I'm just going to kind of back away for a second and let you guys continue that for the audience if you want.
We were just talking about some of his glory days in that 2010 season, and Dan Mullen's second year, top 15 finish. I always think about the SEC West that year, KJ, that you guys lost 4 games. All 4 teams were ranked in the top 12, and you guys finished 15th. I mean, you talk about the best division in college football. That had the national champions, Auburn. I think Alabama might have been the most talented team in the country. And then both LSU and Arkansas won 10 games that year.
You have a very good memory to remember that.
Yeah, that's why they hired me. Yeah, that's my deal. Yeah.
Yeah, we were good. My last year we were 8-4. Played Michigan in the bowl game. And blew those guys out. So we had a phenomenal squad. Had Fletcher Cox was on that team, Jonathan Banks, Boobie Dixon, guys like that were there. And so we had a really good run. And what I love most about State is how we go to the NFL and we are just as successful as we were in college. And so if you want to be successful in the NFL, parents, kids, send your guys to Mississippi State. They'll have a phenomenal career.
I will clip that, and I'll send it to Zach Arnett, and they'll make a recruiting commercial out of that one for you. No problem.
Do that. Yeah, and I'll be at Super Bulldog weekend this year. I haven't been in my entire NFL career, and so I'm going out this year meet Coach Arnett and just see some really good football.
You'll like him because being a defensive guy as you are, he is a defensive guy. When you meet him, you're going to just be like, okay, I get it. This guy he breathes defense.
I can see it through the TV screen. Like, this guy is legit. I just love his energy. I love his passion, the way he game plans. I could tell that in the very near future, this guy's going to continue to climb on the ladder. And so I'm glad he's at Mississippi State.
So you mentioned a couple of your former teammates, by the way. It seems like they're both sticking around in Philly, despite getting the opportunity to look elsewhere, on team-friendly deals as well. So from your experience, what goes into that? And because you see some guys do the opposite, understandably so, of course, get your money when you can get it. Why do you think those two specifically chose to take what is less money than what they could have gotten on the free market to stay where they're at?
Right. There's nothing like a peace of mind. There's nothing like being happy and just having your same routine, right? I played in Seattle for 10 years. And it was just a phenomenal organization. When you walk into that building, you feel the love. It's ran properly. When you travel, you're in the nicest hotels. You're in the nice planes. Every organization is not like that. And so I completely get it with Fletcher Cox. I've been here my entire career. I'm going on year 11. Why else would I leave? I have all the money in the bank. Let me just stay here, be happy. I know the coaches. We're going to be a really good football team. Let me see if I can just add another Super Bowl to my resume. And so great decision about both those guys. As soon as I saw that Slay was potentially going to get cut, I hit up my people here in Seattle. I said, let's get this dude in the building. But he's going back to Philly. I'm happy for him. And so those guys are going to try to get another Super Bowl run.
Yeah, take us through, you obviously, as a high school player, you get recruited. But then as a pro, you can get recruited again, when you're a free agent. What's it like being on a free agent recruiting trip?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Both of my free agent journeys were something to forget. For me, my last year, I didn't get my phone called until training camp. When I tell you, I did not get my phone called until training camp. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I had my best year. I know I'm old, but I could still play some really good football. And so for me personally, I didn't get the luxury of just having all these teams offer me contracts and, hey, come in on a visit. The Las Vegas Raiders called me in the middle of training camp and said, hey, we see you're a free agent. Come here on a visit. I said, yeah, when? I'm ready to go today. And so I didn't get that luxury of just having teams just roll out the red carpet for me to come sign to their teams.
So far, free agency this year, there hasn't been like that signing that makes you go, wow. That I can't believe that guy has switched teams. There have been some that have made some impact locally, obviously here. A lot of Saints fans talking about Derek Carr, guy you would have been teammates with there for a year. What do you think about his move to New Orleans?
Right, played with Derek Carr my last year. Just first off, phenomenal guy, phenomenal teammate. He's going to come in that locker room, and the guys are just going to naturally gravitate to Derek Carr. But when I look at the football player Derek Carr, my question to the organization, to the fan base is, how many more wins would Derek Carr give you than what Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston did just this past year? I mean, he's a phenomenal talent, has a cannon for an arm. When you look at his entire body of work, he just simply hasn't won enough football games, right? Only played in one playoff game, didn't win that one. And just you saw what happened last year with the turnovers, with the bad decision makings. If he could, if he could tap into just protect the football, I'm going to make really good, smart decisions, and not put my team in a position to lose a football game. Derek Carr will be phenomenal, and so I'm looking for him to take that next step as far as growth when it comes to decision making. And once he does that, the sky's the limit for that offense.
KJ Wright joining us right now on the Farm Bureau guest line. Another quarterback that, I mean, a ton of quarterback movement, but one in particular that everybody was watching from the darkness retreat to everything else that came with that. What was your take about or on Aaron Rodgers and how he, not necessarily the decision, we'll get your take on that in a second, but how he approached this decision, which really isn't in his hands because they have to trade him, but it kind of is in his hand. What's your take on all this?
I'm sick of him. I can't be any more transparent. I'm literally sick of this guy. And like when I look at it, when I look at any team that's bringing Aaron Rodgers in, he's not going to come to OTAs. He's not going to invest in the young guys. He's going to be a headache when he comes into when he comes. I'm just looking like you are so phenomenal. You're such a great guy, but so much baggage comes with this guy. So much baggage come with this guy, and from the vaccinated, immunized, going on the darkness retreat, mushrooms, just all this mess with Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, bro, let's just play football and let's just be great. And so I just look at the Jets, and I played with Coach Robert Saleh. He was my linebackers coach. And he has built a really good team, young guys, drafted well, did great in free agency. If you bring Aaron Rodgers onto your football team, just know that what you have built could potentially crumble. And I personally do believe it'll crumble. This guy, when I just look at football players, guys that love ball, guys that are completely invested, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that look. And so it's pretty draining to see all this stuff that he does off the field. Let's just play ball.
And it is a young team, as you mentioned. I mean, they just signed Lazard, which helps, I'm sure. But it is a really young football team. And in your mind, you think veteran guy, young team, match made in heaven. Bringing C.J. McCollum into New Orleans, I know it's a basketball reference. Great thing. Veteran guy, a very well-respected veteran guy. But it feels like it's kind of a different vibe with Rodgers. He's a veteran in age, but maybe not necessarily in leadership, right?
When you bring a guy in to your franchise that's a vet, especially at his age, you want to bring a guy in that's going to bring the young guys along. You want to bring a guy in, hey, this is how I am. I'm going to come in early. I'm going to leave late. I'm going to show up to OTAs. I'm going to invest in my wide receivers. If they mess up on the football field, I'm just going to throw my hands up there and point the finger like catch the dang ball. I'm going to go up to you man to man and like, hey, let's do this better. Let's get this right. I'm going to get the ball to you next time. We're going to be good. That's what I want if I'm a general manager when I'm bringing a quarterback of that stature to my football team. And that's not what you're going to get with Aaron Rodgers. And so he has a cannon for an arm. He can still play at a very high level. But it's the small details that goes a long way in a football season, right? I've played in more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers has.
Hmm.
I know what great leadership looks like. I know what great culture looks like. And so when you're this talented and you only been to one Super Bowl, that's pretty embarrassing.
Where's Lamar Jackson going to play next year or this year?
I don't know. I don't know. I would love it as a fan to see him go to the Atlanta Falcons. That makes the most sense to me. They don't have a quarterback. You know, you just know not having.
We're a pair of Saints fans here.
We're both Saints fans. Don't do it. No. We're not letting that happen.
Okay. Hey,
Don't want that.
From a Seahawks fan, I would love to see him just go play the Falcons. It just makes complete sense. They have the running backs. They have number one receiver in Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts, your star tight end. They have the salary cap. Go make it happen. And you hear the stuff about collusion. Are they colluding against Lamar Jackson? Are they ganging up against him? From a player standpoint, in his mind, if guaranteed contract exists, then I want a guaranteed contract, period. From a general manager, as an owner standpoint, they said the Cleveland Browns are idiots. We are not going to do what they just did. So, Lamar, we love you. You are worth a lot of money. but every penny guaranteed, we simply cannot do that. And I get it from both sides, right? And so he is going to be somewhere. It's just a matter of who's willing to bend first. He's looking like he's not budging. These owners are looking like they're not budging as well.
KJ, time is too short. We appreciate you coming on again and hope we can continue to do this in the future, man. This is really good stuff, and we appreciate you. And have fun with this guy at Super Bulldog Weekend if you see him.
I'll be there.
Hit me up, bro. Yeah.
KJ Wright joining us. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got about 20 seconds.
Oh, no, I just said I'll be there. I'll be at Super Bulldog Weekend to meet the fellas and meet the coach. I can't wait to get down there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, KJ. We appreciate you.
No doubt. Thank you.